finally negative on COVID. So Tuesday, blooming bank holiday, Monday is a bit of a pain. Although I'm still chesty as hell though. Although apparently that's what happens. Anyway, I went out this morning because I'm allowed to, and I bought myself a Morris Minor wing. Not my fault, somebody put a suggestion ahead and it had to be tried. But what I did have a go at over the period of time I was ill was mending that, and I destroyed it. So I've got to get another one. But all that being said, I would like to show you what this wing looked like. But I've got to try and find a way of holding it on there. And I paid 25 quid, a bit rusty, but it is very much usable. I'm just not quite sure how that's going on. Somebody made a suggestion in the Morris Minor Rats page that I've joined that maybe, and I've been thinking it for a long while to be honest. Those, they're alright for what they are. But I keep looking at the old pictures of when I had the Morris Minor bonnet on there, and the wings and everything made it look way better. And although I'm not returning to the Morris Minor bonnet, there's no reason why we can't put the wings on. Okay, I'm finally negative 2 days running on COVID now, and I think I'm going out. I picked the wing up yesterday. That was very bizarre. I ended up at a house where my nana lived in the 80s. I actually lived there myself for a short period of time. So bizarre. I walked away from that house in about, what was it, 87, 86, something like that. So bizarre. Anyway, 20 quid. Not in the best of condition, but I didn't want to spend 40 quid on one and it ain't going to work. I set it to the height, I think that's where it needs to be, but I think it needs to be out a lot wider than that. What this is starting to remind me of is the film Monster Truck. It resembles it slightly, I think. It definitely needs to come out wider. So we'll have to cut a piece of metal, and we're going to have to shape it to fit that line there, and then we'll probably end up bolting it through the top, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get bolts in underneath or anywhere. I just think it's going to be too difficult, so I'll probably have to cut a second piece to go over the top, which will get welded onto that lip, and then they can be laid on, bead rolled for strength, and then we'll just run bolts all the way through, and then we'll get the plasma cutter and trim that lip off on the inside. This is going to be really difficult. Really difficult. This is going to take me a good couple, well, at least a month, and then I've got to round that off. That's not going to be easy. I'm not looking forward to this at all. That's quite a lot of work that I hadn't planned on doing. But let's be honest, me personally, I mean, they're okay for off-roading, sacrificial, break them, make them, fix them, doddle. But they just didn't have that anger presence about them. And that, at the height that's at, and the paint I want to put on it, I think this will work now. I think this will work really well. Excuse me. So that is what we're going to do. Now I've contacted the chap that I bought those doors off. He's got another wing. I need to ring him and see what he wants for the other side. the other trick to it is we've got to keep the heights as well. Heights have got to match, but also the arches may not match now, obviously, so we'll have to sand all of this and get rid of as much of this lumpy stuff, and this curve is going to have to be improved dramatically in order to blend the two halves. If you can see what I mean. So but the height is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. So I think it's worth the extra aggravation. And the beauty of it is 4 inches, which is what I've measured for that gap. It gives me enough room to lay a second light in there if need be. A smaller one, which could be quite cool. Now, the lights that I've already made, I'm still using them. We'll cut these bars off, get rid of them, and we're just going to run another bar off here maybe, I don't know, and we'll put the lights that I've already made on there. I have got some brand new lights that can fit that, and I think they have bezels as well, so I just need to worry about that bar, and then I can chuck 2 more spots on there, and I have some smaller ones as well that I'm thinking about putting on. So that's that. It's Tuesday today, just for the record, and I'm going to be heading down the yard. Morning all. Now off on a road trip. I pick up a wing, a couple of door cards. Wednesday morning was at 10:30. Leigh-on-Sea, I think is where we're heading, somewhere like that, up in Essex. Right.
Turn right onto Berry Road, A1156. onto Birches Walk.
Oh, there we go. I'll go down here.
Exit the roundabout onto the Silk Road.
Wow.
In a quarter of a mile, merge onto A12.
What's the friggin' speed? What's the speed limit on here?
Turn left onto Birches Walk.
No,
Turn
I'm
right to stay on
gonna
Birches
go
Walk.
down here. I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna park. I'm gonna ring up and tell him run out.
300 yards, make a U-turn.
Yes, missus. I'll make the blinking U-turn. God, don't this good woman drive one up the wall.
In 100 yards, turn right onto Margaretting Road. Turn right onto Margaretting Road. Turn left onto Birches Walk.
Well, we made it, kinda. I'm just waiting for the chap to meet me. He's got various lockups scattered all over the place, so how much of this we're going to film I couldn't tell you at the moment. I told him I'd get lost, and I did. I went straight past the entrance to where the bloke lives, ended up on what was the best part of an 8-mile detour, only to find my way back here again. Oh, and nearly slapping a couple of cars at the same time, including some foreign vehicle where the passenger was putting the driver off. I mean, Christ almighty, what was that all about? Anyway, pays to be vigilant when you're in Essex. Not that I'm trying to say anything about Essex, because I love Essex people, but boy, there are some right nutcase jobs on the roads up here. So I'm just waiting for him to turn up now. There we go, follow the Land Rover. Nice little old engines. They're not Morris Minor, that one isn't, is it?
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah. 2 series.
Got to be a really early one then.
They are, yeah. When did they go to the overhead cam?
Your history will be better than mine because I don't know.
50. About 56 was it? Possibly. Yeah, so it's sort of like there's not that much difference to the Morris 8.
Right.
There's a bit difference. I'm not really sure what, to be honest with you.
Okay, well I've just arrived. This is Colin.
Hi everybody.
And I'm assuming that's the wing, yeah?
That's the wing.
Yep.
Yeah.
He also tells me these 3 engines are up for sale as well. So how can people get hold of you if they're after an engine? Have you got a Facebook account?
Probably Facebook's the best way. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what is the actual link to?
Oh, that's a good question.
What do you call yourself on Facebook?
I just use my name, Colin Moles.
Colin Moles. Okay, we'll have a hunt for Colin Moles.
I don't think you have too much problem finding me. Not if you own a Morris Minor.
Okay, well there you go. So if you're interested, I believe he has other bits for sale as well.
We've got all sorts of bits.
Yeah.
So this is the wing. Not the best of wings, but
no, it's a little gone on the edge, but it's nothing. I'll be cutting that bit off anyway. So.
Oh well. So there you go.
Yeah.
So it's the front.
That's the front that's more important to me, yeah. The one I bought the other day, that's all gone along there. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge for me, that bit. But I made the mistake of putting picture up on a Morris Minor rat rod site.
Right.
And somebody came in and said, you need to put the old Morris Minor wings back on it. That had been buzzing around in my ears for about a year, even though I did the fiberglass Jeep style mudguards.
Oh right.
And after he said that, and I just play, you know how when people sow a seed in your head that play on you, and that was it. I got ill for a couple of days, and when I came out of being ill, I sort of looked at the situation. Went, he's right. I think I do need. So I bought one, put one on, and I looked at it, and I thought, yeah, we've got to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah.
Okay, well there you go.
And
and you want door cards?
Yeah, a couple of door cards. If you've got them in red, that would be great. But if you haven't, it don't matter.
The answer to that is definitely no.
Right.
But I've got door cards.
What a lovely little Land Rover. That rarest rock and horse poo.
Yeah, I know. That's the whole thing. So.
But that's rarer than the car is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would do well.
There's another one there.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Not too bad. I think there's a few.
No, I still got.
Have you got clips?
Got no clips. I've got no cards.
Right. So you're short of a couple of clips. So if you take one of these, which is totally knackered, there's no way you can use that.
Okay, that will. Yep, I'll get spare clips.
You've got plenty of clips there.
Yeah, that was partly why I wanted some door cards, because I don't have the clips, and I didn't want to sit there and rivet the thing on or screw it on, because it just looks so ugly doing it that way.
You can get the clips, but you know.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Right, lovely job. I'll get you some cash. We agreed 30 for that, didn't we? And a £5 each for them, weren't it?
Yeah.
Yep, cool. Right, guys, I'm going to put camper down now. I'll follow you out, and then I'll pull into a lay-by and work where I've got to go and go from there. Oh.
You've got to follow me up to the crossroads.
Yeah.
So when you get to the traffic lights, turn left.
And just go straight.
Straight down to the A12.
Yeah.
On the A12, you can't really get lost.
So if you say so. This is me we're talking about.
Do you want to go out first, and then I'll
Yeah.
pull round here?
Okay.
Right, turn round and
Yeah, I'll spin around here if I can get round.
Yeah, you should be all right.
It was an exhausting drive. I'm back now. Just sort of properly surveying this wing. I knew what I was buying, so I'm not going to kick off and complain that I've been conned or ripped off, because these things are worth whatever a person's prepared to pay. That's how I see it. And I was prepared to pay the money that we negotiated, but I was not prepared to pay him the money that he originally wanted for it, which was 45 quid. Not happening. Not a chance in hell. So this has all got to be cut off anyway, so I'm not worried about that. but it's pretty gone inside here. This is going to be a nightmare to weld, but it is solid over there, so I'm happy enough with that. So give you a rough idea where this is heading. That's the distance I want them at. Actually, that one sit on that wing nicely, doesn't it? Straighten it up a bit better. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut, like we did last one, round and follow it round, so we've got room for that wheel to move around in, because the arch itself is just too small. And we'll do the, instead of doing, because last time I had one of these, I cut it along that line there and then spread this out, but it didn't look right. It just didn't look right at all. So I think by doing the inside edge this time, that'll also allow me to put a second light on if I want, but I'm at risk of making this thing look like one of those Citroens from the 60s. We don't want that look. So yeah, I think that's how we're going to do it. Right, I've been having a little faff about yesterday. We painted this all up ready to put in, and this indicator and light bar, switch bar thing, I've made the steel tube that's got to go through the column, and before I was going to weld this to the steel work on the body of the car, but that's not going to work. But what will work better is if I weld that fascia there to the actual steering column bracket. And as you can see, that's all on there, and I've even, if you can see in there, cut a slit so there's the pin can just about poke through. At the moment that pin ain't going to do me any good. However, somewhere, and I don't think that will do me any good anyway, there is a plastic piece that goes inside this, but looking at that now, thinking about it, that won't work either. So what I'm going to have to do with that, if I can get away with it, I'll have to extend that little bit of metal, and I'll see if it is possible to put a couple of self-tap screws sticking in here, sticking out, so when you turn the steering, the screws will catch that little catch and self-center and turn off. That's what I'm hoping will happen. I don't really know at this point if it would, but it would be nice to think that that would work and it don't get all caught up and catch. But yeah, we're going to weld that tube onto there, and I'm hoping it sticks high enough, 50 centimeters or something. I think I measured that at, or 5 inches, can't remember. Yeah, 5 inches, that's what it was. So it'll be, that may not work because that may be way down here somewhere. I mean, I could definitely weld something onto that sticking out. So we'll see where we go. So that's it for today. I want to get that car footage loaded up on the computer because there's about 3 hours of it, one take from start to finish. So tomorrow, if the weather's better, because I ain't pulling the welder out on the risk of rain, I'll see if we can't get this thing fitted tomorrow. I'm gonna have to take the whole steering piece off, and I'm hoping that will come off. If not, I'll have to cut that down the middle, that steel tube, and I'll have to slot it in and then weld it back up again, and that's the only way I'll be able to do it. Literally will be the only way to do it. So yeah, I may have to cut across there and across there so I can slot that underneath, weld that back on, although it don't even need to be on there, to be honest with you. It's just watered it for neatness, and then cut that one there as well, and then weld that back on. Once we've got that on, you see, we can then work out the new fascia. I've got these that I was hesitant to put on because the middle one you can't see, but I've got a water gauge and oil gauge that can go up there and there. They're on brackets, so why the hell not, you know? I've got to cut all of this off, clean that all up. Yeah, I just don't really know how I'm sorting this dash out at the moment. Got a doubled-in stereo to go in here somewhere, which is probably going to go where the old stereo Speedo used to go. So I'd like these in here, but I've got to make room for a Land Rover Speedo in here somewhere, and they're quite large. That is the best I can do with this. I would have liked it further up, but it just won't bleeding well go up there. Everything is just too fat for this to sit where it needs to sit. I could have gone over the top and then done some tabs the other way. That would have worked, but then it all in the way of this, you see. So that's that really. It's been a bit of a pain in the butt. I've tested all the wires, everything is functioning the way it's meant to. So we've got indicators, we've got high-low, flash, even the horn works. Now I ended up taking the switch out of the other one that I showed you earlier on, if I have put that up in the video, and I have literally used the old one that I broke the switch on. It just sits better than the other one does. I can't explain it, but it does. It just sits better. So the only thing left to do now is take the steering off, slide that little sucker in there, and we're probably going to have to work the rest of this out now. What I want to do next is a little cutout up here to fill in this bit here. So I think these are going to go completely, and we'll weld in a filler there, and we'll put our lights up there, indicator and all that kind of stuff can sit in that area there. I was going to put the double din stereo in here, but this is now in the way. So I kind of came up really with the idea of, if we lose this goes in at an angle, but we could actually weld onto that there and bring that out a little bit and then put it to another angle, and then we could maybe cut this section out here and then drop the stereo in that space. The rest of the gauges can go down there, and the two gauges that I've got, which is oil pressure and water temperature, could actually sit on top here, or we'll put that little unit in here. But to be honest, I'd rather keep that as clear as I can. I've got a speedo to fit, so the speedo might find its way in there. I don't want the speedo here unless the stereo doesn't work where I have it planned. If the stereo don't work, then it could go there. But I've got a digital speedo that uses the internet, so I might put that in where it can be seen in there through that gap, and go from there really. It's not foolproof, it's a bit of a pain in the neck, that thing, but it does work, so we can definitely get away with that. So yeah, it's all coming together beautifully. I think we do need to get rid of the split screen idea, because we've got too much work to do, and well, we just need to move forward a bit more than what we are. Still a bit snotty from COVID, but I'm better than what I was 3 days ago, let's put it like that. My energy levels are building up, so I'm just plodding through it very, very slowly. So I've done that. And the next thing I want to do now is quickly make up that piece for the top of the dash, which shouldn't take 2 minutes, and then I want to move to the back. I want to put the battery isolator in and attempt to get all the wires threaded through. Yeah, not the greatest welding, but I've got a grinder, that's what I thought. I will attack that another day. Fascia is now gone. Definitely can't get a stereo in that gap. That's going to have to go in this piece here, so I will get a piece of tin made up at some point, weld it in and bring it down so it sits like at an angle there, and then the stereo can slot into that location. I think it will go in there. I hope it will. We've still got a bar to weld in underneath at some point. I don't know how I'm going to do that at the moment. What else have we got to do? I'm going to put a blank plate over that completely, get rid of all of it. On the original Morris Minor, that was just a cardboard cubby hole, chuck rubbish in. But because I've obviously got different things doing different things, we won't be using it, so I'll just blank bugger off. Maybe put my little digital speedo in there. I'm going to get a Land Rover one to go in there, because I've got a Land Rover gearbox, so I might as well, you know what I mean? Right, let's get that isolator switch put in. Got the earth lead in. A whopping great earth lead it is at that. Goes in down there, comes up, plenty of wire. However, I'm struggling with that live because it's just too blooming short, which is why I want an isolator switch so I could take some of that out. Problem is the wheel arch is just too damn close. I was hoping to put it in under here, but it won't reach at all. Oh, I hope in hell. And I don't really want it anywhere else if I can help it. So I don't exactly know what to do with it at the moment. I don't want the isolator. I mean, it wouldn't hurt it, but I don't really want it underneath the truck because it'll get covered in mud, obviously. No, I really don't know what to do with it at the moment, so I'm going to pick this job up tomorrow because I've just about had enough. I'm out of energy now. This COVID has really freaked me up. So tomorrow I'm going to try and address that problem. I'm going to go upstairs a little while and make a start on this video because it's a big and, well, there's a lot of footage to flick through. But I think tomorrow also we'll get this dash plate made and we'll put the ignition switch here. I reckon that's going to be the best spot to put that, and then we can plumb that in, get that earth in, and then we'll go from there after. I just don't know what or where or how at the moment. Well guys, it's been raining and it's going to be doing it on and off all day, and I need all day to get this video prepped. So I think I'm going to call it and upload it. So it's kind of like this. Thanks for your views. Thanks for your likes and your shares. I'll try and do better next week. So I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to get this video uploaded. I'm going to spend the weekend recuperating and go from there. So without showing my face, I will say you take care and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.